What about namkeens, Robin? What do you think about these?
That's a really good question, Masuma. So when I look at namkeens, I know that often namkeens are deep fried, so they will be a source of fat. So this is just one example. I'm not really picking on any. There's a wall full of them. They're a source of fat. Some can be high in sugar, while others can be low in sugar, and some can be really high in salt as well. So because they're deep fried, if you're trying to manage your cholesterol, this may be a snack that you don't want to have all the time with your chai. I know it's what we look for when we're looking for something savory or sour, but check out our healthy snack video for more ideas for that. So if I compare the label of this to maybe something like roasted chana, on this label, on this namkeen label, I'm going to notice, Masuma, that this fat, the total fat's 21 grams in here, and the saturated fat is 9 grams, which is fairly high. It says it's about 46% of our saturated fat per day in about a quarter cup. That's a fairly high source of fat in this namkeen. And if I look at this chana, Masuma, when I looked at the fat in here, it's got 0. I know the label's real small, but you'll have to believe me, it's got 0 saturated fat and 1 gram of total fat. This type of product is much less processed. It's not deep fried. It's a source of protein, so this might be a better snack to have than this deep fried namkeen.
Are all fats bad?
So that's a really good question. Just because namkeen has fat in it, it doesn't mean that all fats are bad. Fats are a really good source of energy. They help us absorb our fat-soluble vitamins as well. But what really matters is where your fat is coming from. So is your fat coming from a package like this? Or is it actually coming from, avocados or nuts and seeds or canola oil or olive oil or, salmon? Those are really heart-healthy sources of fat. But when it's coming from processed foods, you want to limit that type of fat more often.
Okay. What about this one? It says 0 cholesterol. So would you recommend this one?
That's a really good question too, Masuma. So just because it says 0 cholesterol, it doesn't mean that it'll have no effect on my cholesterol. So it's a little misleading. You can't just grab this and run out the door and eat the whole bag, because when I look at the back, it actually may not have cholesterol, but it still has fat and saturated fat in it. So it can still technically affect my cholesterol. And when it comes to foods that have low fat or light on the label, those foods will still affect my body in some ways. Sometimes the manufacturer will increase the salt, the sugar, or the carbohydrate to make those foods taste good, but they can still affect my weight, my heart health, and my blood sugar. So it doesn't mean you can eat the whole bag. Definitely small amounts are probably okay, but you still need to watch how much you're eating and be careful of these claims.